We would like to acknowledge that this podcast meeting is being held on Aboriginal land, the land of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and we would like to pay respect to the elders past, present, and emerging, and their multiple birth parents with children with disabilities.
And today it is Snap P40.
This podcast contains truth, laughter, and the occasional F word, so it's not really suitable for children.
Sometimes you just have to get your shits out. Shit, 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 shit. That's right, this is a language warning. Oh, shit.
Happy 40th! Cheers!
For our 40th, we thought we'd try something different.
Here we are.
We're 80% certain this will have happened, that we're recording.
Yes.
As in our faces.
Yeah.
Because
So
we've been told
people need to put it on the tube.
on the YouTubes. I think it's
a
about
new
15
wheelhouse.
years late.
It's coming into my wheelhouse.
Yes, the wheelhouse is growing.
It's growing.
Yeah.
We're going to give it a go. We've decided we're going to start off with the speak pipes.
Yes,
right?
snap peas, because
Snap peas. Yeah.
the other episodes, they're trickier, and we're asking beautiful peas to come on, and they don't have to share themselves like we are. So this
Yeah.
is,
We might have that option down the track if
Yeah.
they want that. But
Yeah.
for now, it's just you're stuck with these two faces.
So if you're listening, hello and welcome.
Yes.
It's a beautiful sunny day in Melbourne.
Yay.
We're out of lockdown.
Yay.
However that feels, I don't know. I don't know. But if you're watching, you'll probably get to see a few of the bits that get edited out when you're listening, which
Yeah.
is not anything fun. It's just us announcing each number of each speak
That's
pipe.
right. Exactly. So
Anyway, we've got a lot of speak
yes,
pipes.
we've got heaps for number 40. Thank you, everyone, for
we're
sending
gonna,
that in.
We're going to hit them now.
Let's do it.
Hi, Kate and Mandy and the P Tribe. It's Emily from West Footscray.
Hi,
Emily.
I'm in the hangout. I hung around behind at the end of the Yarraville show to meet you girls and fangirl you.
Aw.
And I also fangirled Nellie Thomas, who was very kind to me.
Fair enough.
And yeah, I'm a massive fan. My friend last year said, "Oh, you should listen to this," and it was one episode where you were talking about being Principal Hose and Year Level Coordinator Jones, and I really related to it. And then I thought, I need to know more about this, and I'd listened to a few episodes of Chat 10 Looks Through, but other than that, I wasn't a regular podcast listener. So I went right back to the very beginning and
It's a very good
walked
place to start.
the bike path between the two train stations nearest to my house every afternoon that I could get a break, and listened to every episode and
Wow.
laughed and cried and told
Thank
everyone
you.
about it. And through that process, it occurred to me, I need to get my son assessed for ADHD, because that, there was stuff going on, but I just didn't know what it was. And listening to different things that were said in your podcast made me realise that's what we needed to do. So then I was actually excited when we got the diagnosis, because I could officially be a P instead of just being a wannabe
Yes,
P.
see, people want to join us.
And what else? Yeah, so just yesterday we got confirmation of a diagnosis of autism for my youngest son.
Yep.
And it's just straight away I put a post on the Hangout saying, okay, I want to talk to my family, but I don't want them to say annoying things to me like,
Yes.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Sorry, yep.
Which happened last year when we thought that my other son, who was diagnosed with anxiety and ADHD, there was a time when we thought that he was autistic, but he wasn't. And when I told people before we had the final diagnosis, people said some rectum comments, not meaning to be offensive, but things like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, or gee, I hope it's not autism. My boss's son's nephew's niece's daughter or something,
Yes.
is autistic or has ASD, they probably said. And, I hope it's not that. That's what one really good friend said to me. So this time round, I knew I didn't want to give anyone the opportunity to say anything that annoying. So I went straight to the P's, and got sent some great resources for how to talk to people so that they know the way we're approaching it from a strength-based perspective, not a
Yes.
deficit-based
Wow.
perspective.
Awesome.
So, yeah, that's been really good. And I have had, friends who are proud disabled women and stuff who've taught me lots long before I met you guys, but it was probably mostly people who had a physical disability, and I didn't know as much about the whole neurodiverse world.
Yeah.
I used to take camps for kids, respite camps, and take kids away and teenagers away for a week at a time, and there were definitely lots of autistic kids on those camps, but that was my understanding of what autism was these kids who were nonverbal and
it's a spectrum.
such a different experience than what is happening with my son. So I still have had lots to learn, even though probably compared to some people I knew a bit about the whole world anyway, not the whole world, but the whole world of neurodiversity and disability and stuff. So how long have I talked for? Yeah, so
3
I
minutes
just
55.
wanted to say that
Keep going.
I love your podcast, obviously, and I love the community and I
Best
love
community.
being a part of it.
Me
And
too.
I've also made friends with this awesome P who literally lives around the corner from me, and
Perfect.
we just chatted at the traffic lights one day at the school crossing, and I said, I like your dress, because she had this colourful dress on, and then somehow we figured out we were both Ps and that we were both fans of the podcast, and then when we can, we've gone on a walk or had a chat and had a phone call or whatever about what's going on. We see our kids see the same paediatrician, the same psychologist, so it's just amazing. And that all that whole connection happened because of listening to you guys. So
that's what we want.
Yes.
I love how accessible you are. I sometimes feel guilty that I've tagged you if I write a post on the Hangout or messaged you privately to say, I loved this thing or whatever, because I think, you probably have so many fans contacting you and you probably don't have the mental headspace. But,
Okay.
I just think
I think that there's another message to come.
Oh, cool.
All of a sudden the time ends.
Oh, yeah.
hello, it's Emily from
Yes,
Melbourne.
I thought you might be back.
Because I was talking too long. So now that I've worked out how to use a speak pipe, I'm never going to stop.
Yes.
Keep pressing send and writing
That's
more.
what Mandy wants.
Anyway,
I do.
won't. But what I was saying is sometimes I feel conscious of, contacting you guys and asking anything from you, because I know you're, so busy and there's so much going on. But I do love how accessible you are to all these people who love your work and stuff. So, yeah, I really appreciate the community you've created. And like you always say, the Hangout, there's always someone there. It doesn't have to be you guys, but there's always someone there who's got warmth and empathy and resources and understanding and all that stuff. So it's really awesome.
It is awesome.
The other thing I was going to say is that I am also in the process of getting my oldest son assessed for inattentive ADHD. And I just feel like even since last year, the first child we had assessed, and when I first started listening to the podcast, I just feel like I've come a long way in really being able to embrace that news and feeling like that diagnosis is actually such awesome news, because, we can understand what's going on. We can better support him. We can better, I just got a message on my phone which distracted me. We can advocate for him. We can teach him to advocate for himself.
Yep.
So I feel like there's been a huge shift in my perspective, even though, like I said, I used to, be in integration aid at a primary school, and I've had experience in the world of disability, but I still have learnt so much from hanging out over the airways with you guys. And the other thing is, my husband is an ICU nurse and, working at Sunshine Hospital with all the COVID patients, and there's just so much stress and anxiety and stuff going on, and exhaustion with that. So, and I have 4 children.
Yes.
And it's looking like 3 of them are neurodiverse and one of them isn't. So it's just it's full on, and it's an interesting time, and I feel way less alone because of what you've created. And sometimes in the afternoon when I'm getting the washing off the clothesline and I'm not listening to a podcast, as I'm taking a particular item off the clothesline, I remember exactly what one of you said as I was hanging that item up in the morning when I was listening to the podcast. So you are with me. So I'll be taking the yellow peg off the green shorts and I'll think, oh, that's when Kate said that thing about whatever.
Oh.
So, yeah, you guys are
That's
really with
awesome.
me on a regular basis.
Oh, we
Anyway,
made
I'm
this
going to
for
press send
you.
now, and I promise not to get too excited and send too many of these. Okay, thanks for
Anytime,
being
Emily.
awesome. Bye.
Oh, thank you.
When you hang up the period undies next time, think of me.
Yeah. When you're putting the machine on for the second run through because you can't be bothered hanging it out,
Yep.
think of me.
Thank you. Thanks for sending your first speak pipes.
Yes,
we love
thank
these.
you. We're
so
honoured to
much.
have your
We are
speak pipe.
honoured, and we try to get to everybody in the hangouts.
I feel bad if I don't,
Yes,
but it's not a burden.
No, it's not a burden at all. But sometimes I might have a day out of
Yes,
there just because
same.
I'm in my own head. But then
Yeah.
I'll pick back up
But
again.
that's all the piece.
Yeah,
that's
that's
what's
right.
so great. It's
Yeah.
not like we're influencers and you're
No.
waiting to know what colour shade of lipstick we're wearing.
No.
So it's easier.
No, yes,
and because,
that's right.
You know, we love you all. You're all awesome.
Yeah.
Hi, Mandy and Kate. It's Jo here.
Hi,
Hi,
Jo.
I'm a Nan P who
Aw.
originally came to you via the Chat
Nan
10
P.
group
Oh, Chatter
and
P.
subsequently listened to all of the episodes.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
I truly think that listening to you and your guests helps me to be a better support to my pea shoot and his parents. But I'm finally doing my first speak pipe
Thank you.
to say thank you for the book. I loved reading it and I could hear your voices in my head as I read. I've passed it on to my pea shoot's mum, who has also enjoyed it, but found the chapter on leaving the church so helpful and resonant for her. She's worked incredibly hard to have our pea shoot included in their church to absolutely no avail. And it's been really heartbreaking for me to watch her do this battle.
Yeah.
So thank you again for doing something that's really been helpful for me and for her and for all the other mums and nans out there. Sorry, I'm getting teary for no good reason.
No, you're not. It's really
Anyway,
emotional.
love you both and look forward to listening again. Bye.
Oh,
Thank you, Jo.
I love you too, Joe. And it's you can't understand how hard it is to walk away from that and
And try.
and try.
Yeah.
And also
And then and that chapter's
it
hard,
was
hard.
really hard. It's the hardest one we wrote.
But we felt like we
I
had to
feel
be
the
brave
most
about it. And
Guilt
so,
about it. And
yeah.
so but I will say that I think we are beautiful Gary, who does our beans episode, he used to be a church minister.
Yeah.
So he's actually going to touch on that.
Yeah, he
and
is.
that might be really interesting to hear it not from two overly emotional middle-aged women. And maybe we'll send him a speak pipe when we've finished listening to that.
Yes,
So
that's a
it's just
great
in the
idea.
future. I don't know if it's this year or next year, but
Yeah.
I know he's going to touch on that. And I
Yeah.
think that's going to be really amazing because there's actually a lot of us in this position. So thank you,
Nan
thank
P.
you, Nan P.
I like Nan P.
I like Nan P
Yeah.
too.
It's a nice term. We haven't had Nan P
Yeah.
before.
Hi, Kate and Mandy.
Hi.
I am kind of like a three-part P, which I will explain. So
Yeah.
I'm a chatter P.
Yes.
Hi.
I made my way over to your podcast from the wonderful Chat 10 Looks 3
Thank
Yes,
you.
best
podcast,
podcast.
and Annabelle Crabb's recommendation.
Yes,
so
God
thank you
bless
so
her.
much because I've had so much mileage and wonderful learnings from your podcast.
Oh,
thank you,
Um,
Alex.
So thank you, Annabelle.
Yes, thank you, Annabelle.
I am also an over P. I'm living in New Zealand at the moment and
Right.
moved from Australia just kind of before the pandemic kicked off, right at the start of 2020.
Right.
Good move.
Good move.
And
Can't ever come home.
I am also a professional.
Ah.
I'm a music therapist.
I
happen to be
thought
Alex.
this might be you.
Mandy summoned
hoping.
on the Snap
Could it be
feed,
this, Alex?
I summoned you.
from Simone's wonderful
Yes.
parody.
Come on,
of
Alex.
The Hamilton parody.
Yes.
So thank you so much because it now gives me an opportunity to call up and say how much I love your podcast.
Aw.
And I've had so much wonderful learnings
Oh, thank you.
through work, but just in my everyday interactions. Mandy, I think you were surprised that music therapists were out there listening.
I was.
I can absolutely say that there are quite a few music therapists that I know of who are big fans, but
Oh.
also I'm sure there are many that I don't know of. I remember being at a music therapy conference a couple of years ago and I was just having a chat to another music therapist and we worked out that we were both big listeners. And yeah, I was chatting to Simone after all the after finding out that she was a listener on the were chatting on the Music Therapy Victoria Facebook page, and one of my previous managers actually joined the conversation, and so I asked, "Oh, you're a listener too?" And she actually reminded me that I had recommended, the Special Care Nursery and NICU episode a while back to them, because I used to work at the Monash Children's Hospital.
Alex.
What a special
And they've got
job.
a wonderful team of music therapists there, so I recommended that episode because
you.
it's such important listening for anyone that sets foot in that space. So thank you so much.
Aw.
Yeah, so there's definitely music therapists out there listening.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe some more music therapists will
Will speak
call
pipe in. Yeah.
Yes, we need
Yeah,
you.
we certainly, absolutely love being part of the P Tribe.
Aw.
Yeah, so the bad news is I don't have
I was just like,
a song
I think we're going to run out before a song.
ready to go right now. I don't have a knack with parodies like
okay.
Simone.
We're not
I thought
angry, just disappointed.
I thought the Hamilton and Puffet was absolutely
Oh,
wonderful.
Puffet.
So happy to leave that to Simone
Okay.
and Tim from Thailand for that matter.
True.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a great voice
do
for
wanna
radio.
say
You do.
that,
Yeah.
absolutely love the work that you guys are doing so important for families and parents to be able to listen and hear that voice that they wouldn't have necessarily come across before, that can really connect people, especially when they're feeling isolated and
Yeah.
they don't have experiences to draw on.
Yeah.
I find that in my work over here in New Zealand, I'm working with families that there's often times where I'm working with parents and I think, maybe they should listen to that episode about, that there's so many situations that come up like that. So your podcast is getting a good running over here in New Zealand
Thank
as
you.
well.
The Kiwi
Um,
peas.
and I've just
I
finished
love
your
New Zealand.
book, which is absolutely wonderful.
Alex.
Wow,
It's very,
you're a legend,
the book,
Alex.
the pages are very worn out.
Oh.
I find that I go back to it quite a bit. So yeah, thank you once again. You're doing brilliant work. And really happy that music therapists, you know that there's music therapists out there that are listening.
We're very thrilled.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
thank
Alex,
you.
made my day.
Oh, we asked and he answered.
What man ever does that?
No one.
Thank
That's
you,
got a
Alex.
beautiful speaking voice.
I think you need to do a music therapy podcast.
I think you do, because that voice, or if you could just maybe read me boring stories and send them to me, because I could fall
3
asleep to
a.m.
that. Yeah.
3
a.m. the podcast
You know what?
with Alex.
What I realised is that why didn't I
don't know.
find some music therapy for my girls
same.
early on? I didn't.
No one suggested it.
No one ever suggested
Because I know
it.
it's hospital based.
Yes.
like play therapy,
But I mean,
but
how
I
many
just-
times did I go to Monash?
I
I
know.
could have walked past Alex. We could have had a
Yeah.
great time
You
together.
could have been best friends now.
Would have been harmonising with him. He would have been like, here she comes.
Can she get rid of it? Turn the other way, turn the other way.
Here she comes. She's going to sing the alto. Anyway, thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Hi, it's Molly here.
Hi, Molly.
So, I love the Bouillon ad,
Yes.
and I love your wormhole. My wormhole.
Unlimited.
And, yeah. So,
Can we sing the wonderful, whimsical?
it's completely irresistible wormhole. Yes.
And how are you feeling about coming out of lockdown?
Stressed,
Yeah, I feel it.
anxious,
Yeah.
and normal.
Yeah, that's the exactly.
I don't know
agree.
how to explain it, but
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, bye.
Mandy never tells me when there's a Molly popping
I
in.
know. I just do anonymous.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't.
anonymous. So, because when
we
you
were-
leave a speak pipe, you can put your name. or you
She
can have
made me
anonymous.
keep playing the Belong ad, and then she found it on YouTube.
Yes, it was
and
really
then I
good.
shared it with the Hangout.
Have they talked about it on Gruen? I bet they have. 'cause
I
it's
don't know.
Some
I
of
just
the
watched
most
through 'em last week and
effective.
They didn't have. they
Okay,
didn't
well,
have, 'cause
look,
they were
listen,
talking about
Todd,
pandemic.
Will, whoever's listening, that
long
is an
ad.
ad worth.
Oh.
We've never had an ad that has created so many strains in the
I
hangout of
know.
people talking
and
about it.
she loves it. So,
It is
yeah.
great. It's great.
She's like, wormhole.
It's so true. Go down that wormhole and you're like, how did I get here? Wasn't I looking up, Russia's tundra grass, and now I'm listening to you too?
She was listening to the Speak Pipe last week, and it was a shorter one. So I said, I don't know, it might not be in there. Then we hear, it's on, Belong is on at the top of her voice. I was like, great.
Listen, Belong, if you want to send her a T-shirt, she will be forever grateful.
Wonderful, whimsical, weirdly irresistible.
Yeah.
Mandy.
I mean, it's what have you saved at?
Of course. Oh, dear.
Hi, Mandy and Kate. It's Emily, or Emma P.
Emma P.
The lady with a 4-year-old with Kawasaki disease
Yes.
and a 1-year-old waiting for heart surgery.
Yes,
Yes.
Emily.
We have been thinking
I found
of
out
you.
that you played my speak pipe thanks to my lovely friend who is up to date, which I'm not.
Oh,
Yes,
you've got
you're
too much
busy.
going
Like, oh
on.
my God, I'm listening to your speak pipe.
Yes.
It's amazing, which was really lovely to hear, and I thank you so much for your kind words. I really appreciate
I've been
it.
thinking about you.
So the good news is Mr. Four is home.
Yay.
He's still in a hospital in the home program
Yep.
where nurses come to visit each day.
Yep.
But
Yep.
he's definitely on the mend and
Good.
he should be fine.
Good.
And I finally plucked up the courage to call the Children's Hospital to ask for an update about Mr. One's surgery, and it should be a couple of weeks away, so at least that gives us a bit of a break, so that's a
Yeah.
big relief.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, let us
But I
know.
did just want to talk a bit about hospital
Yeah.
and what it's like
Yes.
at the moment.
Yes,
and-
please.
And for parents. You said that the Children's is a sacred space, and I think you're so right. It is just such a beautiful hospital. I've been in hospital myself before, and it's a completely different feeling to being in the Children's Hospital where there is just so much love, and I have so much appreciation and respect for the doctors and nurses that work there. But it is really hard, and particularly at the moment with COVID restrictions. So I knew this, having been in hospital with Mr. One last year, that it is one parent at a time at the bedside. And so my husband and I both have pretty big jobs. We're both lawyers, and he happened to have taken Mr. Four in when he was unwell, and he got there and we got the sense that this was quite serious and he was going to be in at least a few days. So I packed a bag for my husband and drove in thinking that hopefully I could drop the bag and see my son. And unfortunately, we had a chat while a doctor was there. This was on the phone. I was outside the hospital, and then they got moved to a different section of emergency waiting to be admitted on the ward. And by the time we asked to swap over, we got told, no, you can't do that. So here I was with my very sick son inside the hospital, not
And you couldn't
e-,
even
get to
able
him.
to
It's
see him. So that's tough. So to
Emily.
anyone, any parent who has a kid in hospital right now, I really feel you. It is just absolutely shit.
Yes.
It is fucked.
Yes,
and you
it
know,
is.
I feel I can say that to you.
You really
Yeah.
can.
ladies.
Say,
It's just
say
say
anything
terrible
to
what
us.
we're having to go through.
It is. I'm so sorry.
But the other thing I wanted to talk about, because this is where I think the experience of having a child in hospital is actually quite different to special care or NICU, where the nurses are there and they take responsibility for your child.
no, it's all on.
It's never really said, but when
It's
you
on
have
you.
a 4-year-old that's in hospital,
Yep.
a parent really needs to be there at all
Yes,
times,
yes.
and that's tough.
You can't even sneak
and
out.
of course, you want to be there,
Of
but
course.
But it's
I'm so
tiring.
tired and you want to
the
coffee.
juggling, particularly in circumstances where at the moment we're not even supposed to have the support that you would ordinarily have. You're not supposed to have people coming around to your house
Starlight's
and
not
helping
coming
out.
in.
It is just so hard. And I did want to tell you a little story, which was, so as I said, we both have big jobs, and I was lucky that my husband was able to shuffle stuff around and mainly be in the hospital while I was at home working. But there was one morning where he had to be at home. He had to do a hearing. He's a barrister. And I was in the hospital, and I had something pop up saying, basically a meeting invitation saying, do this call on this particular transaction I was working on. And I told my client, I said, look, I'm going to be in hospital with my son. It's going to be difficult. I'll be free in the afternoon. And I probably should have said no, but I didn't. And I was probably hoping that the client would say, okay, let's do it in the afternoon.
Yes.
But he didn't. So I had to do this call in hospital
Emily.
with my 4-year-old, extremely cranky, refusing to be placated by chocolate donuts and iPad, etc. And there were 12 people on the call. There was one other woman on the call, mostly men, and she was the only one that texted me saying, I'm so sorry that you are having to go through this. What can I do to help?
So, sisterhood.
Whilst I love my job, and
that's not fair.
I have done very well at it. I do really feel like we've got a long way to go.
We do. I'm sorry.
It's just really tough.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Thank you, Mandy and Kate, for your kind words. I feel like we're going to be okay, and I'm very grateful to have the support of everyone around me, and I include you in that. So we've just got to push through a few more weeks of this crappy lockdown, and I know that's going to be hard for some Ps because there's the fear of the unknown and what it's going to be like. But I think it's so wonderful that we've got this community and each other. So thank you.
Thank you. Listen, Emma P., if you need anything, there is a lot of us in Melbourne.
Put it in the hangout.
And we'll be able to go 25 kilometres then, so people can drop stuff to the top, the front of that hospital. We can send you voicemails if you just want to hear some, ridiculousness that's going on, whatever you need. And what I also want to say is I reckon if one of those male people, clients, lawyers, had a vasectomy that day, you wouldn't have had that meeting, right? So I'm sorry that they did that. It's appalling.
It is appalling.
And you're an amazing person and you deserve to have a job that you've worked hard for.
Right.
And you also deserve to be able to look after your son for one afternoon or one morning. So I'm pissed off at them. Sorry.
For goodness.
And I hope someone sent you a bunch of flowers.
No, people don't.
One text from the other woman saying, I'm sorry and what can I do?
Well done.
Also, listen, if there's any men listening, you send the text. Ask if you can do anything. It's not the women's job. Oh, anyway.
Alex would.
Oh, Alex would, obviously. Yeah. Alex would. What would Alex do?
He's the number one fan. What would Alex? WWAD. Oh, dear.
Hi, Kate and Mandy. This is Beck from Canberra.
Hi, Beck.
Long time listener, but this is the first time doing a Speak Pipe.
Thank you.
I wanted to ring and share my laugh with you guys because it is the laugh that keeps on giving.
Good.
And I think the Ps might enjoy it.
Love it.
I really love your ad that you do at the start of the episodes where you talk about working with different organisations.
Yeah.
And that you're very Zoom friendly and nifty with a PowerPoint. In my mind, I thought, God, I wish I could say that I was nifty with a PowerPoint.
I'm not.
Thinking about the many, many times that our devices have run out of charge during Zoom classes for school or extracurricular activities or therapy appointments because I haven't had the forethought to plug said device into the PowerPoint. It was about the third time listening that I'd heard the ad that it occurred to me that you don't mean a wall PowerPoint. You mean a PowerPoint presentation. And every time I hear your ad, I have a little giggle to myself out loud and think about
Don't let our devices go flat.
But also, every time I think, gee, I need to plug that into the PowerPoint, I have another little giggle.
You can be nifty.
Thanks
You
for
can be
listening
nifty.
to my laugh. I hope that it gives somebody else a giggle, and maybe we'll find out that I'm not the only person that's not nifty with a PowerPoint. Thanks, Peas. Have an awesome day. Bye.
Look, I'm nifty with those sort of PowerPoints.
Look, I know how to turn them on and off.
I do.
I think I'm quite good at a PowerPoint.
And you're probably good at international ones. You've had some
Yes.
experience.
Yeah, I've got it. I've got them in the study.
Adapters.
You got the adapters. I have to have an adapter for my teas made.
Oh, of course you do.
It's English, so
Yes,
Irish. I can't.
yes.
yeah, you know, but anyway, that has.
I mean, I want a PowerPoint where no one can steal my charger from it.
I want the PowerPoints that you just plug the charger in.
Yes.
If you're doing a renovation, Mandy, which I think you said you are,
Yes.
put those in the kids' rooms.
Yes.
Right? And
Can
so
you?
yes, yeah, they're just the PowerPoint. And so you just have to put the lead in. There's no
Nifty.
Yes, no base. So there you go. Home improvement tips
Thank
from Kate
you.
and Mandy and PowerPoint Beck.
We need to get number one daughter to make her one.
Oh yeah, we'll make you a PowerPoint.
with a
It's just
picture.
PowerPoints. Remember to charge your device.
See, the snap peas are the greatest.
The greatest.
Oh.
Hi, Mandy and Kate. It's Jacinta.
Hi, Jacinta.
Hi, Jacinta.
Just stealing another few minutes after my daily commute before I head home.
Fair enough.
Wanted to
Stay in
say,
the car.
hey, listen to today's Snap Pea. Mandy, I too said that I was not a resident for tax purposes. I too thought,
Jacinta!
no, I was born
Found
here.
your kindred spirit.
I live
Born
here.
here, see?
And a few weeks later, I got a really big bill from the ATO because they said I hadn't paid enough tax. So that was a lesson learnt there. And
I didn't
every
get
year
that.
I have to think about that question. I am a resident.
For
Australian tax purposes.
Also,
tax purposes.
I was thinking that I wanted to say hi because I just want the snap piece to keep going. I really enjoy them. I
Yes, thank you for
appreciate
sending
hearing
them,
from
Peas.
everybody. I appreciate hearing
me
from you
too.
too.
Yep.
Oh, and that's what I wanted to say as well. My Mr. O is 8 and he loves to run, and he went to his first come and try Little Aths on Sunday morning, and he loved it.
Oh,
And he's always been a runner. He's always
Perfect.
loved to run.
Good.
perfect
And
place for him.
I've heard you talk about Little
Yes.
Aths, and they were great, very
Awesome.
supportive.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah, so thanks for that. I'd been humming and hawing about it.
It's worth a try.
Yeah.
We sent him, and we're going to sign up.
Good.
He loves it, and he watched the Paralympics, and he was amazed at seeing all the people with cerebral palsy and winning medals
It's the
and things
best.
like that. So
Yep,
he was, yeah.
Oh, so great.
Hopefully that's something we can do.
In the future, yeah.
On a down note, he came home last week and again advised of another birthday party
Oh, don't.
that he wasn't invited to,
So sorry.
and it's a real bummer.
It is.
And
Nothing
it breaks
hurts
my heart.
more.
And I'm really
sorry.
looking forward to an episode on birthday
Yeah,
parties.
we're gonna
when
do
we
it.
ladies
We're
can
going
find the
to
time
do
to
it.
get around to
It
that.
might be
We
next
will.
year, but we're going to do it.
Yeah, so anyway, that's me, and
Thank you.
I just wanted to, say hey, thanks again, bye.
Bye.
Jacinta. She's my person.
She is.
Little Australian resident for tax purposes.
You have to go back and listen to last week's Snappy if you'd
Go
like
listen
to
to
hear
39 if you want to hear
what
Mandy's
Mandy Ho's
favourites.
She Knows did.
It's probably one of the first sort of times I made a massive error that many people don't. I've had a few after.
Hey, Mandy and Kate, it's Jacinta again.
Yes, hi.
I said I was a bit brokenhearted about my son
okay.
Yes.
missing out on a birthday party.
Yeah.
Should be brokenhearted.
I was also really fucking angry.
Yes, that comes.
I just felt like, again,
Yes.
you know, and
How hard is it?
he
It's not
had a
hard.
birthday party.
I know, and you probably invited
In May.
everyone.
Yep.
And He invited the whole class.
Yes, I know. We did
Maybe
that too.
10
We've done it.
came, 12 RSVP'd, and the rest were no-shows.
Sorry, but their parents are rectums.
It's
He
not the
didn't
kids.
notice.
It's not
It's
the
the
kids,
parents.
it's the
Yeah.
parents.
He had a good time.
Of course
Good.
he did.
Yeah.
And, you know, he got presents.
Yeah.
And, yeah,
Felt special for the
it's
day.
just really disappointing, and it just makes me really mad.
Yeah.
I
it
get
should
really
make you
mad.
mad.
They're a thing.
Yes.
And,
It's a thing.
you know,
is
just
big
kids,
thing.
they don't know.
No, it's not the children's
No, it's not
fault.
the children's fault.
No.
It's the
I don't
parents'
know.
fault.
I don't know. Is it the parents?
Yes, it
is. It the
is.
kids?
Children do what they're modelled.
I did tell my son this morning. I said, look, some people are just arseholes.
Yes,
It's true.
it's true.
He thought that was pretty weird that I said that. I couldn't believe that I'd said that.
We
but
just got to tell the truth.
You
to our
have to tell the
patients.
some people
truth.
are just arseholes.
They are.
Yeah. And he'll remember that.
Yeah.
Rectums.
He'll be like, oh, some people are.
Absolute rectums.
Yep. Absolutely.
Anyway,
I know.
that made me really mad.
Yep.
And I've been reflecting. I didn't ring. I didn't send a message when you did the call out for people's COVID experiences because I live in Adelaide. We've been pretty fortunate. My husband and I both work for government departments that were considered essential.
Right, yep.
Good.
We stayed employed the whole time. We didn't
Right.
lose our income.
Yeah.
I think there's some COVID guilt if
have,
you
Yeah,
live
I
like
think
that.
there's COVID guilt.
you don't
Yeah.
have family
Isn't there?
overseas.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
got family interstate, but
Yeah.
you know, we haven't been hit really hard. Our son continued to go to school. He was,
I'm glad.
he's 8 now.
I'm glad.
He was
Good.
7 last year. And when there was a period of time in Adelaide last year where schools were closed and people were doing distance learning, he was still able to go to school because
worker
he was a
parents.
child
Yep.
of an essential worker.
Yep.
And he actually really thrived because there were
Smaller
Small
classes.
numbers.
smaller classes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
There were, he was with about 10 other kids of varying ages.
Yeah.
He had a great time.
Yeah. Probably the way school should be, but impossible.
He didn't notice that he
Yeah,
wasn't being
small
invited
groups.
to birthday
Yes,
parties because
I
nobody
know.
was
No
allowed
one
to
was
have
having
birthday
them.
parties.
I
Says
know.
that's how Melbournians
Yes,
feel.
we
don't
really
get to
feel
be
like
very
that.
social.
No one's been excluded.
That's
know,
actually a
so
good reflection on COVID.
It is.
Thank you.
It was actually a really good time for us.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it.
And I don't even know that I feel bad saying that.
It's okay.
I can't even imagine what it's been like for people to homeschool and not see family and be without income.
I think
that,
you do know because you've listened to us.
Yeah. We were really fortunate, and I know we were really fortunate, and a big part of that was that he was happy
Yeah.
Yes.
We're only as
Mr.
happy
O
as
He
was
our
happy.
deserves
saddest
to be
child,
happy.
you know?
because
Yeah.
he didn't notice that
Yes.
he wasn't getting invited to stuff because
Yeah.
nothing was happening.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
I think
Silver
that's
lining.
true for
And
many people.
Yeah, many.
been really hard that it's all started up again.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've
There's
got
I'm
that
actually
head
assholes at school
bracing
that
myself for that.
Yeah.
rub it in his face
Yeah, well, they are assholes.
that they're having parties on the weekend and that he's not invited. And
Oh.
I just don't understand.
No, we need our empathy project. We need to get into
And
school.
I
Empathy
guess
initiative.
I'm feeling a little bit
Yeah, that's
emotional
okay.
at the moment
Of
because
course.
we've got a care team meeting at school tomorrow.
Yep. I'm always
after
anxious
school
before
to
them.
talk about
Big days.
Yeah.
I know.
him and his
Yeah.
progress,
Yeah.
his
confronting.
learning plan,
Beautiful, beautiful boy.
and with the cast of thousands
Yeah.
I
present,
know. Yeah. Hi.
And people
Yeah.
dialing in. and
Shuffling paper.
What child are we talking
Yeah.
about today?
Yes,
just like-
yes.
I want to know what the plan is.
I know.
Because whatever's been going on around the bullying and the social stuff is not changing.
Sorry. Yeah, your heart breaks.
And the really sad thing that breaks my heart about it is that he's just happy that people are giving him attention.
I know.
He's just happy that people are talking to him.
I still go through this.
Doesn't matter
I 100% know what you mean.
It's negative and that they're giving him, they're telling him that he's annoying and that they don't want to be with him or that he dribbles or...
I feel the rage.
You know.
We need the world to change.
It's just connection, which he craves.
Of course. He's a human. We all do.
Deeply. Just having a hard time.
That's okay. You can tell us it's a safe place.
You know, there's glimmers of hope, like little Fs.
Yes. That's right. Hold on to it.
Hold on to that.
And
find your people and screw everybody else.
I think we're going to get him into some cricket. He wants to give cricket a go.
I love cricket.
So we signed him up for that.
Great.
Good. I hope he loves it.
And those things are really good too because there are kids there that don't know him at school.
Yes. That's what you want to build.
Yes.
Yeah.
Friendships outside.
Yeah.
When
Glimmers
you can.
of hope.
Yeah, of course. And he's got you, remember?
Yeah.
He's got you on his team.
But yeah, sending love to all the P's and thank you, Mandy and Kate.
Oh.
Love your work. Keep it up.
Oh, we will.
Thank you.
Now, listen, if you are a non-P or a rectum or a whatever, can you hear that pain? That's what it's like to go and pick up the most precious thing in the world to you and find out they've been excluded that day or someone's bullied them. And so even if you think that your most amazingly beautiful child would never do that to anyone, talk to them about it.
Yep.
Because all children dip in and out of it. My kids did.
We had some tricky behaviour yesterday.
Yeah,
and I just had to, I really stopped and thought about it for a minute and then I thought, not on.
Yeah, and you have to tell them. They don't know.
Yeah, I had to tell them.
Right? They learn it.
That's
right. But if no one ever says, did you know you really hurt that person? Did you know that person likes this or doesn't like that? Then they won't learn.
And I actually said something like, but this is part of our family values.
Yes.
So as members of this family, these are the things that we do.
We're inclusive.
Yeah, because this is our family value.
Yes.
And that certain person listened.
Yes, that's right, because they just haven't heard it.
Yeah, that's right. And also we haven't been, in Melbourne here, we haven't really been practicing it.
None.
You know, so what I want to say to everybody that might have a bit of survivor guilt out there in the other states is that we're going to need you, right, to help us build back up. Yes. So I saw someone, Kate Miller-Heike, put on her Instagram that someone put on her mum's Victorian number plate car, go fuck off Mexicans. And I just thought, how could anybody say that to us if someone's ventured to your state?
I know.
Right?
And we are hesitant to travel.
I'm totally hesitant.
I am really hesitant. And I get it. And I think now Sydney's going to be fine because they're like, oh, yeah, we had the cough too, so we get it. But, and I truly mean this, there, but for the grace of God go all of you.
Yes,
right?
that's right.
We did nothing to do this.
No.
We didn't choose this. We just live in a big city, high-density housing, and it's cold.
Yeah.
But as your vaccination numbers aren't up there, this could happen to you, right? And I know everyone who's listening to this will be vaccinated. But just remember, there's a funny memes and then there's really hurtful memes.
That was hurtful.
And it's hurtful. Don't do that. Yeah, you know what? Mandy and I won't be able to come and do our amazing tour.
I know. I can't wait to come. I just want to see the peas from everywhere.
I know.
I
Next
really
year,
do.
hopefully.
Yes.
This is my version of the Belong song. I think it's about take 5 by now. The invisible life of us. Mandy Hose and Kate Jones, they both laugh and cry and cuss. They make a difference to so many P's, and I just want you to know you're my wonderful, whimsical, simply irresistible podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anonymous.
I don't even know who you are.
Oh, who are you?
Wow.
Wait till Molly hears this.
Oh, wait.
The invisible life of us. That was brilliant.
Unbelievable. You don't know the joy you bring.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
You belong.
Yeah, you belong.
You belong.
You
We
belong.
all belong.
We all belong. You get a car. You get a car.
You get a Coke, no sugar.
Hi, Mandy and Kate. It's Sarah here from Melbourne.
Hi, Sarah.
I'm just sitting in my car after having a pretty big cry after leaving the supermarket.
Yep.
I was there by myself, which is pretty unusual, but I was watching these other families shopping around, their children walking along nicely with their shopping trolleys. They're not pulling stuff off the shelf. They're not screaming. They're not trying to tip stuff over. They're not randomly licking fruit.
Yep.
And I just thought that I'm never going to have that shopping experience with my son.
Yeah.
It's always going to be really, really tough for both of us. I get really anxious driving to the supermarket with him in the car because I know what's coming.
Yes.
And he's not little anymore.
Yeah.
And people are so judgy.
They
and
are.
watching their faces. When he's struggling so hard, it's really tough.
And I'm sorry.
Anyway, I just...
Yeah.
I don't know why I rang. I
Yeah,
suppose
tell
I need
someone.
to get that off my chest to other people that
Anytime.
are going to listen and to understand.
We know.
I love your podcast, guys. Bye.
Oh,
Thanks, Sarah. We
all-
understand.
all of our love.
All the P Tribe
And we
have
will
our versions
say,
of it.
Until there is no breath left in these old bodies, don't judge people at the supermarket.
No.
If that's the one thing you do, right? Be an asshole other places. Just give us the supermarket. Everybody has to go there.
It's hard enough.
Right? It has to be the most inclusive place because we all have to eat.
That's right.
And please, just look the other way. Who gives a shit? If it's not your kid licking fruit, fuck off. Why do you care? I just don't know why people care.
Well, and what you can do is just pick up that lemon or something
Yes.
and maybe give it to a staff member or something.
Yeah,
you know, you
that's
just
right.
help
You don't-
that mum out.
Yes, that's right.
Oh,
Sorry, Sarah.
Yeah.
I will come shopping with you.
Yep.
You let me know when you're going.
We should do that.
And we will come shopping.
The peas all go
will
shopping
Let's
together.
bring all the peas.
Well, that's what I wanted to do when there was the riots in Melbourne. I was like, bring every P woman from Melbourne and all her children.
Yeah.
We bombard that city and we just go, oh.
Oh, dear.
Anyway,
that was beautiful. Thank you for all those beautiful, beautiful speak parts.
Oh,
if you
just-
record them, we will
play them. This has been the best Snap P40. It's had a bit of everything.
It really has.
I hope you've liked YouTube.
Oh, yeah. I hope it's good.
I hope it works.
I hope it's up there.
I hope the recording.
I don't even know if we got a YouTube channel. So, you know.
Can someone make
I
that
can tell you
first?
right now, the person who's listening, the sound engineer,
We'll
is
be making
rolling
that.
his eyes,
Yeah,
going,
no,
oh,
it's
here's
not a
another
PowerPoint
job.
at least.
It's
but,
not a PowerPoint.
Oh, we love you all. Thank
we do.
you.
And I just want to say, I'll talk about it probably next week in one of the episodes, but, you know, we're trying to get Dan to send us a certificate, which he never will. That's Daniel Andrews, the Premier of Victoria, for those of you who are outside of Australia and don't know all the premiers like we do. Beautiful Yasmin, the most beautiful, beautiful P in the whole world, sent us more certificates.
Yes.
So last year she sent us ones and they are still up at my
I
house.
know. They're beautiful.
And these ones are stunning.
We should read them out. Maybe we'll read them out.
We'll read them out.
Yeah.
I'm going to read them out in one of the other
We
episodes.
hadn't got that
But I
organised.
just wanted to say that we
Thank
got
you,
them. We
Yasmin.
love them. And
Oh.
number one daughter, it's on her door.
I know.
I sent Yasmin a photo. I was like, it's
Oh,
already up.
I know.
She's like, Dan won't do it, but I
I
will.
will.
So
And there's a petition from a P who started a petition.
Started a petition.
So thank you.
Yes, I'll do a couple of stories. We'll tag Dan
Yeah.
and say, where's our certificate?
When you hear this, we'll be out. Kate
We'll
and
be
Mandy will be
out.
out on the
Yeah.
Monday. We might, I don't know what.
Nothing, probably.
Nothing.
But-
Because everyone will still be home in my
then
house.
I think when I go to work, I don't have to worry about workers' permits. And obviously, we've still got to
Yes.
check in and we've been
Yeah.
running really COVID safe anyway.
Yeah.
But that stress will be gone.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids are still at home.
Yeah, that's not changing.
COVID hasn't gone.
No.
And so I think we also wanted to say we know a lot of our Ps, and we'll probably say it every episode until it gets better. We know that you can't go out anyway.
That's right.
And everyone else is going to be like, I'm at
Oh,
the
we're
shops.
free.
So
I'm going out for lunch. I'm going out for dinner. I'm going here.
Block us all.
Yep.
Don't look at it, and we see you, because that is so tricky. I know living in Melbourne, we've done it.
Yeah.
We've watched other people
Come out.
and they're allowed to, of course.
Yeah.
But I know.
And also just to be gentle on yourself, because I think the
Yes.
re-entry is really tough. Like
Really
coming
tough.
back home sort of feels a bit easier, but going back out into the world,
Yeah.
am I being invited to this? Who should we speak to
I know.
first? Or-
And you can have limited amount of friends. It's like being in
Yeah,
year 9
it's
again.
awful.
Who are my top 4 friends
that part
to
is
invite
awful.
to a... Oh.
Awful.
So,
So
yeah.
yeah, we just all the versions of re-entry
Yes.
from Melbourne and all the Sydney people that have started.
And ACT.
Yeah, we're thinking of you.
Yep, you can send us a message. We'll
Send
play
us
it.
one. Okay,
All right,
everyone.
rate and review.
Bye.
Bye.